else there is to say, let's get into modulation. First, let's listen to the high-pass filter with MG1 modulation. The top knob is MG1 if it hasn't been patched. So that is modulating the filter cutoff point. Let's bring in some cool sounds from the low-pass filter that aren't modulated while the high-pass filter is being modulated. So you can't do this with so many traditional synthesizers because they don't have two filters with these independent functions. So yeah, and of course we could do the opposite. We could have the low-pass filter modulated by the modulation generator, or LFO as we usually call it. Now I have the MG knob turned up on the low-pass filter and turned off on the high-pass filter. Totally different sound. And of course you could have both at various... We're also, hearing the square wave. We could, with just a little bit of patching, be listening to, the sawtooth triangle wave, at least in one of the filters. I've taken the triangle output and plugged it into the cutoff frequency of the high-pass filter. Then we're no longer working with the modulation generator wiring. We're working with the patch panel input that is not total. This would control the total input, but we're not using the total input. We're just using the standard patch panel input. So here is the high-pass filter being modulated by a triangle wave, while the low-pass filter is being modulated by a square wave. And we can change that to like a saw and a pulse, or a ramp and a pulse. So, so we're getting this awesome modulation that's occurring, and simply because we have the possibility to patch, and we have these modulation hardwired routings and two filters, we have options that are just not available with another analog synthesizer's filter arrangement. And then, we can dive into this lower knob as it's hardwired or normaled. It's both of them have a knob that the hardwiring draws on the voltage output from envelope Both of them draw on the output from envelope generator 2. So we're going to have to use envelope generator 2 now. So we're still using the low-pass filter, but it is not being affected by an envelope, and the high-pass filter is. So we're getting this sound. You can hear the high-pass filter opening up, or actually closing up, closing upward, and the low-pass filter is not doing that. So you hear the low-pass filter first, and then the high-pass filter comes in. And all I have done is turn this knob down here and set the envelope generator to a reasonable filter soundy settings. Excuse my technical term. We're going to do the opposite. I'll turn that down and we'll direct envelope generator 2 to control the filter cutoff point of the low pass filter. And oh my gosh, one of the cool things about doing a demo is while you're just demoing straight functionality, just so people get an idea, you hear a sound that you think, oh my God, that is a great sound. And that is what just happened to me. I know a lot of you are into more modern sorts of music, more modern electronic music, and you probably know that I'm into more, vintage 70s sort of sounds. And here I am looking at a synthesizer put out in 2013 that is a recreation of a classic synth, and it's making absolutely great analog sounds like this. So one of the things was hearing that the filters sound like the traditional filter arrangement was an inspiring moment for me. And then I stumble upon sounds that really make me happy a lot with this synthesizer. A lot of the more modern synthesizers, less that. But this sounds like a vintage synthesizer. And it's because they've been so true to its design. Add some envelope control, envelope 2 control to the high pass filter. That sound right there is that is such an MS-20 sound. And again, like I said in the oscillator section, if you have your mod wheel routed up to be doing something different, some sort of more complex thing, you have a mod wheel built into the face panel. You can just add modulation just like you would with the mod wheel, but with this knob. It's really not as fun, but just as easy. And I think the fine people of Korg recognized this when they designed it. It's like, okay, if we're going to make it so the mod wheel is something you absolutely have to patch, we ought to give them the opportunity to add modulation easily to individual sections of the synthesizer quickly and, again, easily. So, there. That is an MS-20 filter. And it sounds and operates like an MS-20 filter, and it makes some absolutely fantastic vintage sounds, even though this is a modern synthesizer. So yes, your question is, does it sound like an MS-20? And I got to say, for me, this sounds like an MS-20. And even more importantly, it gives you the human musical experience of an MS-20. You play it and you have the same response. It's like, this is cool. So if I was getting too sweet there for you, you can hear some of those grungy MS-20 sounds.